Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
WRAL is following breaking news this morning. Teams are on the scene of a fire in southern Wake County. This morning, what we're learning from our crew right there.
And a woman is dead after a shooting at a neighborhood in Cumberland County. What deputies tell us about the woman who was shot.
And checking radar, there's some showers down to the south and up to our north. We'll talk about how that all comes together and who will have the best chance of rain this morning.
And NC State students and staff woke up very early to honor the people who serve our country. The run-in ceremony that just wrapped up, plus other events you can take part of to observe Veterans Day today. We, of course, want to say thank you for waking up with us. And for those of you who have served our country, thank you so much for the work that you have done. I'm Chris Levingood.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Hopefully your Monday is starting off nice. It's sunny behind us in Dix Park. But elsewhere, we are seeing a little bit of fog. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner also tracking some scattered rain showers that are left over from overnight.
We did see some rain overnight last night. Officially at RDU, it was just under a half an inch. But we have a wave of rain that's down in South Carolina, starting to lift northward again. So parts of Hoke County, Cumberland, Sampson County, you're going to see that. Beginning to see some of this starting to creep into Person County. You might see a little sprinkle here in Roxborough in the next 20 or 30 minutes or so. So that's a look at Dual Doppler 5000 radar for us this morning. We're likely to see, again, some of this lifting northward across our area. But in the triangle, we're probably going to end up staying fairly dry. It's all over by lunchtime, and we'll see partly cloudy skies with temperatures climbing into the mid-70s. We are looking at some low cloud cover and fog here at RDU, where it is 60 degrees, a dew point of 58. Visibility is 3/4 of a mile there at the airport. It's 3 miles in Southern Pines, 2 miles in South Hill. So mostly what we're seeing is a mix of sunshine and some low cloud cover, but there may be just a few areas that are seeing some fog this morning. After a chance of some showers mid-morning, we'll be partly cloudy this afternoon and mild with temperatures in the mid-70s. And then I'm tracking another front that could bring us some rain on Thursday. We'll take a look coming up. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, checking your morning commute here in the 8 o'clock hour. I want to isolate the belt line just a little bit because right here, this northwest loop of the belt line, we're seeing that usual slowdown around Lake Boone Trail. But let's get more specific for you this morning. Those two inner lanes, you want to get to All Points West, flowing nicely in both directions. This outer lane, that's the one folks are trying to get to Wade Avenue, then onto I-40 westbound. So you see the slowdown that's causing. So added a little bit of time to your commute this morning, just in case you want to navigate that particular area. There are a couple of other instances that we want to bring your attention to this morning. First, this crash just happened on New Hope Road in the westbound lane near Atlantic Avenue. Check the sensors. We're not seeing any delays in that area, but just watch for some police activity as well. Similarly, here in Lewisburg Grove, northbound lane near Perry Creek Road, a lot of you use that road coming from Roseville this morning. You probably, again, will see some police activity, but I don't see any delays based on our sensors this morning. If you see anything, hit me up, WRAL.com, right? K. Smith at WRAL.com. I'll be happy to hear from you. But if you're getting ready to head out this morning, all the other major roadways, I-40, 885, are free and clear this morning. If you're getting ready to head out, tune us in on the radio. You can listen to us anywhere in the triangle at 101.5 HD3.
Thanks, Ken. Following some breaking news right now, crews are responding to a fire in southern Wake County. This is happening on Citterson Drive near Banks Road. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is there. And Kelsey, fire officials say this happened in a garage. What do we know right now?
Michelle, well, the fire marshal just arrived here on scene maybe about 15 minutes ago here. I did speak with one of the fire officials here on scene, and they say that no one was injured. But we'll take you straight to video now so you can get a closer look at that damage. Fire officials received a call about this around 5:15 this morning. They say a standalone garage caught fire near a home. And from what we can tell by looking at what's left, at least one car was damaged. Citterson Drive has now reopened as fire officials are still here investigating, but we're still working to find out what caused this fire. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Wake County.
Right now, a long-standing tradition honoring veterans is happening in Raleigh. We've got WRAL's Laura Levine joining us to talk from NC State's Bell Tower on Hillsborough Street. And Laura, the Veterans Day run and ceremony just wrapped up in the past half hour. It must have been powerful to see that.
It was a beautiful ceremony, Chris, of so many people coming together from NC State alumni, veterans, as well as active service members, not only here to discuss some of the efforts that were made, but also inspiring the younger generation. We had current ROTC members here as well participating. Here at the bell tower, we now have a wreath that remains a part of the presentation. But those runners, as you can see from this video, took off at 6 o'clock this morning, so just before the sunrise, and running in unison to participate and remember those who have served our country. The Jeffrey Wright Military and Veteran Services Office and NC State's ROTC units, they hosted this event, and that presentation ceremony followed the run, where we've also heard from speakers such as NC State's baseball coach giving some really inspirational words and messages. The ceremony wrapped up this morning about 30 minutes ago with the national anthem and Amazing Grace playing. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
And breaking news, a woman is dead after a shooting in a neighborhood in Cumberland County. Deputies were called just before 10:15 last night to the area of Clarkton Court and Wynwood Drive near the town of Stedman for a report of a shooting. When they got there, they found a woman who was shot. She was taken to Cape Fear Valley Medical Center, where she died. Her identity is being withheld until her family is notified. At this time, there's no word on if anyone has been arrested.
Sanford police are investigating the shooting death of a 17-year-old. The call came in shortly before 11 o'clock Saturday night. Officers responded to the area of Saddlebrook Drive to investigate that report of a shots fired. Well, there they found the teenager in the parking lot. They were suffering from at least one gunshot wound and was pronounced dead at the scene. But the name of that person, that has not been released.
Fire crews in Southern California are working hard to put out hotspots created by the so-called mountain fire before winds are expected to pick up again tonight. As of this morning, the wildfire is 31% contained. More than 130 homes have been destroyed and more than 20,000 acres have been burned. In the midst of tragedy, hope is starting to emerge. The California Fire Foundation is providing firefighters with $250 gift cards to give families who lost their homes.
To get maybe a hotel room or some food, or to go maybe get gas to meet up with other family members, just to get them by the initial emergency.
And California's Governor Gavin Newsom has declared a state of emergency in Ventura County. He has also issued an executive order to support firefighters and recovery efforts.
President-elect Donald Trump has named his so-called border czar. In a post to Truth Social after 11 o'clock last night, he said he will put Tom Homan into the role. Homan served as acting director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement during Trump's first term. Trump is expected to announce more of his cabinet picks later this week. And the president-elect and President Joe Biden are expected to meet in the Oval Office. That's set for Wednesday. Trump spoke by phone with Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris after his election win last week. In an interview with NBC, Trump described the call as being respectful.
Well, there are a number of ways that you can observe Veterans Day events in our area today. There is a ceremony in Apex at 9 a.m. It's at the Downtown Service Memorial on the corner of Saunders Street and North Salem Street. And Garner's Veterans Day observance will start at 10:30 this morning at the Aversboro Road Baptist Church. From 11 a.m. to noon, the town of Cary will hold its ceremony at Veterans Freedom Park. And Fort Liberty Judge Colonel Brett Batdorf will speak at this event. Also, William Peace University, they will hold conversations with history at 7:30 tonight at Leggett Theater. You can hear readings from people who lived during World War II. And we have a full list of the events happening in our area on our website. Just go to the Don't Miss It section of WRAL.com.
Some businesses will be closed today in observance of Veterans Day. While most restaurants, grocery stores, and retail stores will be open, banks and post offices will not. Major retailers such as Target and Walmart, as well as other grocery stores, will remain open. UPS and FedEx will both operate as usual. The U.S. Postal Service will not deliver mail, though. Post offices are closed, too. Places such as the DMV and libraries, they will also stay closed today.
And we are getting closer to learning which party will control the U.S. House when the next congressional session begins at the U.S. Capitol, where you are looking live right now. As of this morning, 17 House races are still left to be decided. NBC News has called 213 races for Republicans and 205 for Democrats. A party needs to win 218 seats to have control of the House.
There's damage across Cuba because of a 6.8 magnitude earthquake. This struck off the coast just before noon yesterday. About an hour before that, there was a 5.9 magnitude earthquake. The earthquakes caused damage to homes and power lines and even caused landslides. Cuba is still working to recover from Hurricane Rafael, which slammed the island last week.
The Carolina Panthers are coming back home on a winning streak. The Panthers played in Germany yesterday against the New York Giants. Eddie Pinheiro kicked a field goal in overtime to give Carolina a 20-17 win. They've now won 2 in a row for the first time in 2 seasons. They'll have a week off before hosting the Kansas City Chiefs November 24th. And Habitat for Humanity says thieves are delaying their home builds. Coming up, what police are saying about these being part of a trend of many construction site thefts in recent weeks.
Plus, the Raleigh-Cary area was rated the worst place to drive during the fall. Just ahead, meteorologist Chris Michaels will explain what we should look for when driving in the next couple of weeks.
And taking a look at our forecast, we have some showers that are developing down to the south and to our north, coming together to bring us a little bit more rain this morning. I'll show you the timeline.
Welcome back on your Monday morning as we take a live look over RDU. Not very favorable conditions to be traveling this morning. Elsewhere, we are seeing some sunshine, though. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Elizabeth, we also got some rain overnight, which is much needed.
Definitely. And we may see more of that over the next few hours. We're going to start off with a look at Fayetteville, where we are seeing some cloudy conditions. Same thing in Apex and Chapel Hill. And then, of course, here's a look at Durham this morning. We had some foggier conditions in Durham earlier, but now we're starting to see that fog lifting a little bit. And of course, we'll end up seeing conditions looking a little bit better here as we get through the next few hours. We have some showers that are down in our southern counties and a cold front that's approaching from the north and west. But watch what's happening with that rain as it slides eastward. It is diminishing in coverage, and so we're not likely to see a whole lot of rain there. We are seeing some showers in the southern part of Cumberland County headed towards Sampson County, but we head up to the north. You can see the showers in Roxborough. That's likely to continue into northern Granville County, but it just doesn't look like we're going to see a whole lot of it there. We take a look at sort of the bigger picture, more of this rain down south into South Carolina. So it may be that we see a bit more rain in our southern counties. You can see the rain here as it's moving eastward along that front is starting to diminish a little bit. We had rain overnight last night that was just under a half an inch of rain. We could definitely use several inches of rain. But interestingly enough, for the entire month of October and so far in November, except for last night, we'd only had 0.1, so a tenth of an inch. At least we were getting closer to half an inch last night. It's just we haven't seen very much rain in a while. At 9 a.m., some of the showers in our southern counties and in our northern counties, but not much around the triangle. The cold front moves through right around lunchtime, and behind it, we'll begin to see some clearing with partly cloudy skies. Then we're watching Thursday. We'll likely see another front that comes through that brings us a chance for some showers on Thursday. We have today's front moving on through. This front, this dry front, will give us a push of colder air to bring us some real chilly temperatures for Wednesday morning. And then another front on Thursday. One of the models, the European model, is showing a bit more rain than the American model, but the American model seems like it's maybe starting to come into agreement a little bit more. So we'll, hopefully see at least a quarter of an inch of rain with that, but we may trend a little bit wetter if the European model continues to look a little more robust. 60% chance of rain on Thursday with that next front coming through. Of course, with wet conditions, which we need, and some leaves out there, it becomes a little bit more dangerous to drive in the fall. Meteorologist Chris Michaels is coming up to talk about what you should be watching for and why we rank pretty high up for fall accidents. Tropical outlook, 40% chance that we could have some development down here, and the American model does want to develop that system, so we'll watch it very closely. It's going to be chilly for us Wednesday and Thursday. We're going to talk more about when we could see some frost. Ken?
All right, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. That slowdown that we're seeing around Lake Boone Trail and the Beltline has cleared up nicely, which is great. Just a handful of incidents to tell you about this morning. This one on Falls of New southbound lane near Durant Road. It just happened in the last 10-15 minutes. We're not picking up any issues in terms of delays in that area. Just watch for some police activity. Similarly here on New Hope Church Road in the westbound lane near Atlantic Avenue. This is on one of our local roads. Not really going to make you late this morning, but just thought you should know about it just in case you're navigating that intersection. Lewisburg Road, northbound lane near Perry Creek Road. Here again, again, just some police activity in that area, not causing any problems whatsoever. Elsewhere around the Triangle and surrounding communities, we're not picking up any major delays whatsoever. So if you're getting ready to head out, that's really good news for you. It is a holiday after all. Let's give you a live look at I-440 and Capitol Boulevard. Boy, usually this time of the morning, that's usually really congested, but of course, it's a holiday, right? You're getting ready to head out this morning. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3. You can listen to us anywhere in the Triangle. You also have a couple more options at 99.3 FM in Raleigh and 96.5 FM in Durham.
Your time is 8:18. Habitat for Humanity says thieves are stealing from its construction sites in Durham, and that is slowing the effort to provide homes to people. The organization says thieves have hit its sites on Enterprise, Kent, Plum, and South Alston streets. It says the thieves have taken power tools and other building equipment. It's cost the organization about $20,000. Investigators say a lack of video evidence is making it challenging to make arrests.
Any support that we can have to help strengthen our security measures at our sites, because this is taking money away from us building, and it also takes away time.
Durham police say this is part of a citywide trend. More than 200 thefts from construction sites have been reported so far this year.
Covering Wake County, loose leaf curbside collection starts tomorrow in Raleigh. The city provides the yearly service to residents who rake their leaves to the curb. Crews will begin making the first 2 passes throughout the city this week using a big leaf vacuum truck. The city is divided into 12 leaf collection zones, and the sweep starts in a different zone every year. Tomorrow they will start in Zone 5, that's bounded by Falls of Neuse Road to the north and west, Capitol Boulevard to the east, and New Hope Church Road and St. Albans Road to the south. Check the city's website to find out when collection will start in your neighborhood. And a new study from the auto accident team shows the Raleigh-Cary area is the worst area in the country to drive during the fall. Meteorologist Chris Michaels shows us the 3 reasons why and what specifically, Chris, we should be looking for in the next 1 to 2 weeks.
And it's exactly those leaves that the city of Raleigh is going to be collecting, right? So we'll talk about that here within the next minute. There's also sun glare early in the mornings with the time change and early in the evenings as well. Also, I've noticed just driving into work here, the deer are just out in droves. So there's a lot of factors that make it a little risky sometimes when we're driving in the fall. But yeah, as far as the fall foliage is concerned, we're getting very close to peak. This according to Explore Fall. And as we go through the next week or so, we're going to go past peak in much of central North Carolina. That, and you've got some of the rain and a little bit of wind. It's not going to be crazy out there, but gusts of 10 to 20 miles per hour will start to blow more leaves off the trees. That, with a wet road, could make things a little dicey out there. Let's assume you're driving 40 miles per hour. On average, it takes about 80 feet for most cars to come to a complete stop. When the road is wet, it takes double the distance. It takes triple the distance when the road is wet, and you've got leaves on the ground. So just a few things to keep in mind. We've got a link to that study that Michelle was mentioning. That's on WRAL.com.
You just put a lot of perspective into the things that randomly go through my mind, and it's like there's science to that. Thanks, Chris. Bitcoin has reached a new record high. The world's largest cryptocurrency has surpassed the $82,000 threshold this morning. Bitcoin surged in the run-up to the election. It surged once it became clear that Donald Trump would become president-elect, and it has been on the rise ever since. Trump has fully embraced crypto in recent months and said he wants it to be mined and minted in the United States. He has also proposed to launch a strategic national Bitcoin stockpile. The MTV Europe Music Awards honored the life of One Direction singer Liam Payne. Host Rita Ora remembered him.
He brought so much joy to every room he walked into, and he left such a mark on this world.
Ora worked with Payne on the 2018 song For You. The ceremony showed a video honoring Payne's life. He died last month after falling from a hotel balcony in Argentina. He was 31 years old.
That was a beautiful tribute. Well, a Wild West type shootout at Crabtree Valley Mall, a chase through Wake Forest, and dozens of homes broken into, in some cases with people home.
They somehow managed to break the screen, so you can see the broken screen outside still.
All of those recent crimes have one thing in common. The suspects are from Durham. Tonight at 6, WRAL Investigates goes through years of arrest data in Wake County and finds a troubling trend. The crime creeping into Wake County and what's being done to keep communities safe. That's tonight at 6. And a public event at Cincinnati's Great American Ballpark gave baseball fans a chance to remember the legendary Pete Rose. The Cincinnati Reds said Sunday's event was a chance for fans to say goodbye to Rose, who died in September. Rose played for the Reds from 1963 to 1978 and again from 1984 to 1986. He remains Major League Baseball's all-time leader in hits.
One cruise line is capitalizing on Americans' negative feelings about the presidential election results. Villa V Residences is a cruise line that lets you take a long-term dwelling on board its Odyssey ship. The line announced a program to allow you to sail for up to 4 years. You heard that right, 4 years. The company got creative with names for how long you stay. There's the 1-year escape from reality, 2-year midterm selection, a 3-year everywhere but home, and a 4-year skip forward option. Prices start at around $40,000 per year. It's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money. And events all across the Triangle and surrounding communities will honor veterans today. We'll talk about them coming up.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Happy Monday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. We did see some rain overnight. We are seeing a couple of scattered showers left over towards the south. Meteorologist Elizabeth Garter has a look.
Yeah, a little wave down to our south, lifting northward. So Fayetteville, Clinton seeing just a little light shower and then a cold front to the north. But again, just a little bit of light rain with both of those. And right here in the middle around the Triangle, we probably won't see any of that rain, but we have seen some low cloud cover developing. You can see visibility's dropped a little bit here in the Triangle. They're about 3/4 of a mile. 3 miles in Roxborough, but for the most part, some folks are seeing some sunshine. We're starting off in the mid-50s to low 60s across our area this morning, and we'll see some sunshine this afternoon and warmer with high temperatures in the mid-70s.
All right, hey, let's start outside and give you a live look this morning at I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. You can see traffic flowing nicely in both directions this morning. It's really good news when you really think about it. Not really anything to really write home about in terms of making you late. As you take a live look at all our sensors this morning, we're not seeing any major issues to report this morning. If you're getting ready to head out, tune us in on the radio. You can listen to us at 101.5 HD3.
Thanks, Ken. A woman is dead after a shooting in a neighborhood in Cumberland County. It happened just before 10:15 last night near the town of Stedman. When deputies got there, they found a woman who was shot. She later died at the hospital. Authorities have not said if anyone has been arrested. And this morning, NC State is hosting its annual Veterans Day run and ceremony. The run got started at 6 o'clock this morning at the Memorial Bell Tower, a ceremony to honor NC State's military history and the service of students, staff, faculty, and alumni wrapped up in the past hour. Next on Fox 50, how veterans are being honored today across the Triangle and in surrounding areas. And next on Today, honoring our military, 4 Branches Bourbon.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Now on Fox 50, an early morning fire led to a big response from firefighters in southern Wake County. This morning, what we're learning from officials on the scene.
And tracking some showers, especially in our southern counties. There's also a front to the north, which may send us a few sprinkles. I'll show you what to expect depending on where you are.
And NC State students and staff woke up early to honor those who serve our country. The run and ceremony wrapped up now, plus other events that you can take part to observe Veterans Day today. And we want to take this opportunity to say thank you to all of you who have served our country. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
I'm Chris Lovingood. Yeah, there are obviously a lot of different ceremonies that are happening today, and you may be wondering, is it going to rain on us today? That's why we have Elizabeth Gardner. She has been tracking that for you. Some have already happened this morning, Elizabeth, but people are clear for the time.
Yeah, we're nice and dry right in the middle of the viewing area, but a few light showers have been falling down in the Sandhills, especially around Fayetteville and Clinton this morning. A cold front up to the north of I-85 so far, with a few sprinkles around Roxborough and headed over toward Oxford, but that looks like it's fizzling out pretty quickly. And even these showers down to the south just moved from Fayetteville over toward Clinton. That's pretty light as well. So our rain chances are going to be, minimal, 20 to 30% chance this morning, and then partly cloudy this afternoon. And with a little bit of sunshine, it should be a pretty pretty pleasant afternoon for Veterans Day. We do have some low clouds here currently at the airport and in a few other places, but it's warm this morning at 60 degrees. Visibility is 3/4 of a mile at the airport, and it's looking better in most other places. Veterans Day with some partly cloudy skies this afternoon should be pretty pleasant at 75 degrees. But we do have a shot of some chilly air that could bring us our best chance of frost in a while. We'll take a look at that coming up. Ken?
Well, this is what's happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. Just a handful of incidents showing up on our live traffic sensors this morning. Just want to bring your attention to this crash on Falls of Neuse Road in the southbound lane near Durant Road. We're not seeing any problems for you. Just wanted you to know about it. New Hope Church Road, the first responders are working across near Atlantic Avenue, not picking up any problems on our sensors, which is good news, especially if you navigate that area this hour of the morning. And keeping in mind, it's a holiday, so traffic is very sparse this morning. Lewisburg Road, northbound lane near Perry Creek Road. Here again, just to look for some police activity if you have to navigate Lewisburg Road at that intersection this morning. Elsewhere around the Triangle and surrounding communities, all on major roads, 87, 885 heading into Durham, 540, all delay-free this morning, which is really good news. Let's head outside, give you a live look at I-440 and Lake Boone Trail. Boy, usually this is really busy. Not so this morning. Tune us in on the radio when you head out, 101.5 HD3. You can listen to us anywhere in the Triangle.
All right, thank you, Ken. Breaking news. No one is hurt after an early morning garage fire in southern Wake County. It happened on Citterson Drive near Banks Road, and WRAL's Kelsey Coffey was there and spoke with fire officials.
Right now, but just hours ago, there was more than a dozen fire trucks in this neighborhood. Let's take you straight to video now so you can get a closer look at the damage. Fire officials received a call about this around 5:15 this morning. They say a standalone garage caught fire near a home. From what we can tell by looking at what's left, at least one car was damaged. Citterson Drive has reopened even though fire officials are still here investigating. We do know that no one was injured. We're still working to find out what caused this fire. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Wake County.
Breaking overnight, investigators say a woman died because of a shooting in a Cumberland County neighborhood. Deputies were called to that shooting just before 10:15 last night. They showed up to Clarkton Court and Wynwood Drive near the town of Stedman. And when they arrived, that is when they found that woman who was shot. She was taken to Cape Fear Valley Medical Center, and that's where she died. Her identity will not be released until her family is notified. And at this time, police have not announced any arrests.
And Jeff Hogan at the WRAL Live Center. I want to get you up to speed on an incident. Durham police were called to the 700 block of Ridgeway Avenue in Durham. This was just after 1 o'clock this morning, and I want to show you where it is on this map right here, just south of the Durham Freeway there, just off Alston Avenue, down the street from an elementary school there. Police were called there because the folks outside this home in the 700 block of Ridgeway were sitting outside when shots were fired toward the house from a passing vehicle. The house was hit several times. No injuries were reported. But then about an hour and a half later, just after 2:30 this morning, officers responded to the same address for another shooting. During this second incident, one bullet entered that occupied home. No injuries were reported out of the second incident either. Anyone with information on this incident is asked to call Crime Stoppers or Durham Police.
All right, thank you, Jeff. A long-standing tradition honoring veterans just wrapped up in Raleigh. The NC State Veterans Day ceremony honors the service of all students, staff, faculty, and alumni veterans. A memorial run happened before the event, and last year's run drew in more than 200 people. The NC State Memorial Bell Tower features the names of 34 alumni who died fighting our country, for our country. The Jeffrey Wright Military and Veteran Services Office and NC State's ROTC units, they host this event every year.
A man was injured in a shooting in Durham. This video, you can see it here, is on Leadnam Drive. This shows you the extent of what investigators were doing. This happened around 6 o'clock last night. Police say the man who was shot is expected to live, but no arrests have been made in that case.
New this morning, at least 5 people are dead after multiple shootings in Wichita, Kansas. Police were called to a home in South Wichita just before 6 o'clock last night. They found a man dead from an apparent gunshot wound. Shortly after that, they were called to another home not far away from where the first scene was, where they found 3 more people who were shot and killed. While canvassing the neighborhood, officers found another man dead from a gunshot wound inside a different home. Police say they believe one person found dead was also the shooter.
Surveillance video obtained by WRAL shows the men accused of hanging a sign supporting a hate group. They were seen walking around American Tobacco campus in Durham, and these men in the video can also be seen leaving the parking deck. At one point, they appear to take a picture of their work. The men are accused of hanging a sign off the south parking garage on Saturday. It has a link to the website of the Patriot Front. Anti-hate organizations label Patriot Front as a white supremacist group. People who saw the sign tell WRAL it's worrisome and not welcome in Durham.
It is a little scary to kind of see it around, and you're thinking, okay, like that's why when you do see these sort of things, you got to, call it out and just say, hey, that's not what anybody here stands for.
The American Tobacco campus is owned by WRAL's parent company. In a statement, it says there is no place for hate at ATC, and it is committed to ensuring a safe and inclusive environment for everyone. President-elect Donald Trump told Russian President Vladimir Putin not to escalate the war in Ukraine, according to a Washington Post article. The Post spoke with several people familiar with this situation, and they say this happened last Thursday during the first phone conversation between the two men since Trump won the election. The sources say Trump warned Putin about Washington's sizable military presence in Europe. However, the Kremlin says, according to Reuters, this report is, quote, pure fiction.
Mediation efforts between Israel and Hamas will have to continue without the help of Qatar. Diplomats say Qatar is pausing its participation because of a lack of good faith negotiations. Qatar has been playing a role in the talks since the start of the war, along with the U.S. and Egypt. It says it's pulling out because the efforts have been more focused on optics than on peace. Qatar says it may resume its role if both sides show genuine intent to reach a deal.
There's a number of ways you can observe Veterans Day events happening in our area today. There's a ceremony in Apex at 9 a.m. That's at the downtown Service Memorial on the corner of Saunders Street and North Salem Street. Meanwhile, Garner's Veterans Day observance will happen at 10:30 a.m. That's at the Aversboro Road Baptist Church. From 11 a.m. till noon, the town of Cary will hold its ceremony at Veterans Freedom Park. Fort Liberty Judge Colonel Brett Batdorf will speak at that event. William Peace University will host Conversations with History. That's at 7:30 p.m. at Leggett Theater. You can hear readings from people who lived during World War II. We have a full list of events happening in our area on our website. Just go to the Don't Miss It section of WRAL.com.
The town of Knightdale held a Veterans Day tribute event over the weekend. People gathered at Knightdale Veterans Memorial Plaza yesterday to recognize and honor the courage, the devotion, patriotism, and sacrifice of our military heroes. The event was presented by the town and the Two Green Thumbs Garden Club. It included a presentation of colors by Scouts BSA Troop 365, special remarks, and a keynote speech.
A playground in Cary will close today for renovations. Work on the R.S. Dad Dunham Park, the park playground, I should say, is expected to last through mid-December. Both the basketball court and pump track will stay open to the public.
The Kickers had the spotlight at the end of a close Sunday night football game. Jake Bates of the Detroit Lions hit a 58-yarder with 5 minutes left to pull the Lions into a tie with the Houston Texans. And Houston's Kaimi Fairbairn had a chance to put Houston up with a 58-yarder of his own with just under 2 minutes left, but he missed the kick. That set up Bates again, and he hit a 52-yarder as time expired to give the Detroit Lions the 26-23 win. And week 10 of the NFL season wraps up tonight. The Miami Dolphins will be in Los Angeles to take on the Rams. Kickoff is at 8:15 tonight on ESPN. Parents are concerned after finding the link to an adult website on the new Wicked dolls. What toy maker Mattel is saying about the inappropriate misprint.
Plus, at least 6 different wildfires are burning across the state of New Jersey. This morning, what we know about the effort to contain the flames and how it has already turned deadly.
And we'll take you live out to Lewisburg as we head to break. 2 cold fronts move through the area this week. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner shows us how these systems will shake up our weather in the week ahead.
Good morning, North Hills. Yeah, a lot of clouds as you're waking up this morning, and a lot of you last night probably knew that there was some rain that we saw, even a little bit in this morning. We've got Elizabeth Gardner, who's tracking some of that, mostly to the southern part of our viewing area, but it's still kind of there.
It's interesting to sort of watch how this has been evolving this morning. We have some rain that's down into South Carolina. It keeps trying to lift northward, but it's starting to dissipate a little bit. Of course, the farther north it gets. And then watching a cold front back to our north and west. Same story as it moves eastward. A lot of that really dissipating. So we don't have a lot of rain in our forecast this morning, but we do have some cloud cover out there. And we've seen a few sprinkles from Lumberton up toward Fayetteville and Clinton this morning. It's been pretty patchy and light, but consistent over the last few hours. Up here to the north, we had a little shower roll through Roxborough. It's moving through Oxford, headed over toward Henderson, but it's pretty quick and pretty light as well. We did end up seeing a little under half an inch of rain officially at RDU overnight last night. You could definitely see some rain associated with our front, but a lot of that is drying out. And same thing down to the south. We have this rain in South Carolina pushing northward, but as it moves northward, it's drying out a good bit as well. So here's a look at Futurecast. Futurecast has these showers to the south and to the north, but really nothing in the middle of the viewing area. So the triangle area is likely to stay dry as all this moves on out, and we'll see increasing sunshine through the afternoon across the viewing area. But we did have some fog and low cloud cover overnight. We're looking at some low clouds here at RDU, where it is 60 degrees. But once we start to clear out later this afternoon, we'll climb on up to around 75 in Durham and Raleigh and 77 in Fayetteville. And we have the raindrops on for some sprinkles this morning, but this afternoon we should be nice and dry. Beautiful weather watcher photo from Sheila Clayton. Look at this. Must be right out of her front porch. She's got the American flag here for Veterans Day and that gorgeous sunset. So pretty there from Roxborough. Thanks for sending that one in. Go to WRAL.com, search weather watchers, and send us a few more of your favorite photos. Behind today's front, we're going to see our wind coming out of the north, and that's going to help to drop our temperatures, especially by Wednesday morning. Another front comes through Thursday, which will continue to push some cool air in. And we take a look at Wednesday morning. It's really our best chance for frost that we've seen in a while. 32 in Roxborough, 34 in South Hill, mid-30s in the Triangle, and then closer to 40 down to the south. So it's not going to be the coldest air that we've seen all season, and it only gives us, just a possibility of frost. It's not even frost likely. It's just possible, a little better chance of some frost in our northern counties. But once we get past Wednesday morning, we're back a little bit warmer. We still haven't seen our first freeze this season. The latest, November 28th, back in 2009. I don't know. We might end up tying that or breaking it. We do have some chilly afternoons in our forecast Wednesday and Thursday may be a little bit wet. And then after that, temperatures pretty close to normal.
All right, thanks, Elizabeth. All classes are canceled today at Tuskegee University in Alabama after a shooting that left one person dead and 16 others hurt. As Amy Kiley reports, it happened during the HBCU's 100th annual homecoming celebration over the weekend.
One popped up right in front of us. There was multiple gunshots.
At least one person is dead and 16 are injured after a mass shooting at Tuskegee University yesterday.
At that point, I just remember, get down and run.
Witnesses say it happened during the HBCU's homecoming weekend.
All of a sudden, people are pushing and shoving. And I didn't think nothing of it because it's like a crowded environment. People are trying to get through. But instead of it being one person pushing and shoving, the entire crowd shifted.
Officials say a suspect arrested in connection with the incident is charged with possession of a machine gun. They say he was caught leaving the scene with a converted firearm. The Macon County coroner identifies the person who died as 18-year-old Latavion Johnson. Officials say he wasn't a student. They say the other victims include a dozen people taken to the hospital with gunfire injuries and 4 who got hurt in other ways.
Our hearts are broken, and we're reminded of the importance and the fragility of life.
Even if I didn't get shot firsthand, my life has still been impacted by this.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
And just into the WRAL Live Center, President-elect Donald Trump continues to fill out his cabinet just this morning, choosing New York Representative Elise Stefanik as ambassador to the United Nations, calling her an incredibly strong, tough, and smart America First fighter. Stefanik is 40 years old, serves as the House Republican Conference chair, and has long been one of Trump's most loyal allies in the House, and was among those discussed as a potential vice presidential choice as well. At the age of 30, she became the youngest woman ever elected to Congress.
World leaders are gathering for the UN's annual climate summit change. It will change, I should say. It gets started today and will continue through November 22nd. World leaders will discuss how to secure the trillions of dollars needed to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. New data suggests 2024 will be the hottest year on record and above the global warming threshold set by the Paris Agreement. President Joe Biden is not expected to attend the summit.
At least 6 wildfires are burning across New Jersey. These here are images from the Jennings Creek wildfire, which is burning about 2,500 acres on the New York border. An 18-year-old New York Parks employee was killed over the weekend while working on the fire line. Helicopters are being used to dump water on the fire. Officials have charged Richard Shatzady with arson for starting one of the fires last Wednesday. They say that he sparked the wildfire after shooting an explosive shotgun round at shooting range.
Parents and guardians, I would pay attention here. A misprint on the package of Mattel's new line of Wicket dolls has an adult website address. It is not a website address to the movie's official site. Several social media users noticed this situation and their observation quickly went viral. Mattel says it is aware of the misprint on the packaging. It is warning parents and guardians the website on the box is not appropriate for children. The dolls were primarily sold in Target stores.
25 monkeys have been recovered in Beaufort County, South Carolina, after dozens escaped a research facility last week. Police believe 18 monkeys are still missing, but they say they have eyes on a sizable group. Veterinarians examined the 25 that were recovered and says they were unharmed. A new mobile health unit is coming to Durham. The Community Health Coalition held a ribbon cutting for the new unit yesterday. It'll provide free mobile health services, resources and tools, and help meet food insecurity needs. The ribbon cutting was celebrated with speakers and a dance team performance.
It looks like Harris Teeter is putting together Thanksgiving meals for local families in need. The company's employees are assembling 2,000 Thanksgiving Day meals into bags. The food bank of Central and Eastern North Carolina will then distribute them. Each Thanksgiving meal bag will contain food for a family of 4, and that includes the turkey breast, all the classic Thanksgiving sides, and of course, a little cake mix too.
Do you have a tax question? Well, you can get it answered this week with Tax Pros on Call. 5 on Your Side is partnering with the North Carolina Society of Enrolled Agents to answer your tax planning questions. Call in this Wednesday from 4 until 7 p.m. to speak directly to a federally licensed tax pro, absolutely free.
An Illinois woman is a millionaire, turns out, $1 million richer. She found a lottery ticket she forgot was in her purse. Let me check my wallet. Did I check mine? Last month, she decided to buy a ticket at a supermarket near Chicago. She never checked her ticket, but then she later found the ticket in her purse and then checked the app to see if she won. Plot twist, she did. Much to her surprise, she found out she won $1 million. She says she will use that money to travel more.
Wow.
Check your purse, Michelle.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, maybe I have one too. My wallet somewhere. My goodness. Well, next semester, Yale University will offer a course on Beyonce's political and cultural impact. Students can join the course that will use her work to examine Black activism and intellectual thought. They will study her albums, her concert films, and performance politics through the lens of feminism, anthropology, and musicology. Cornell University, Arizona State University, and Rutgers University, and other colleges. They have also offered Beyonce-themed classes.
Some places across the U.S. saw the first snow of the year this weekend, and that's why, appropriately, people had a massive snowball fight. Somebody needs to slow this down and put some opera music behind it. Hundreds of people took to Colorado Springs Memorial Park, hurling snowballs and enjoying the winter weather. At the end of the battle, participants were treated to some hot chocolate to warm up after a full day of snowball fights. I love winters down here in the South, but I do miss snowball fights.
I miss the snow. I love it. All right, well, take a look at this. A group of hikers rescued a baby goat that was stranded on a cliff in Honolulu for 4 days. The hikers saw the goat's predicament on social media. They came from Oahu to form a rescue operation, and very slowly they lured the baby goat with apples and distracted him with a drone. Once they got him to safety, they named the rescue goat Bala. Bala is now in the care of an animal sanctuary. So cute.